So y'all know that I greet every day with enthusiasm, excitement, and expectancy. I expect miracles to manifest in my life. I will live no other way. I refuse to. And so all is well. And all is in divine order. And we are one with God, able to create the experiences that we want. No barriers, no obstacles that present themselves shall stand against the word that we manifest through the words that we speak. We believe, we obey. And that's the story. So may we all rise right now. Those of you who took the liberty of sitting down, you knew what was coming. Come on, Michael. I know. Don't sit. Don't sit on opportunities, what I always tell everybody. Don't sit on it. But I'm excited this morning because we said we were going to wear Lions gear. And it wasn't that we're worshiping the Lions. We're worshiping the power of transformation. See, we saw a team that went 0-16 one year. And I've been a Lions fan all my life. Grew up 3 blocks from the old Tiger Stadium. Anybody remember the old Tiger Stadium? Used to flood and everything like that. Aldi Taylor, Greg Landry. And so I remember the bad days. But now I'm looking at ESPN and they're saying the Lions are the best team in the NFC. Perseverance and transformation. Perseverance is not enough. You can sit, you can stand and just persevere. But I want to transform into something greater. And that's what we all want to do. That's why we come to this community, as opposed to going to some other religious community that tells you to wait. The by and by is coming. You'll get it when you're dead. Heaven is right now. And the potential or the potentiality of heaven is right now. And so with that, we see the Lions transforming. I want to transform into something greater too. Yes. That's why we wear the Honolulu blue today. With that in mind, can we talk about activating our power? Because we all have power, but you have to turn it on. So I want to go through this message today briefly, because it's Volunteer Day. And so with that in mind, can we do an affirmation? Y'all know how I love affirmations. It's near and dear to my heart. So can we do a powerful affirmation together? Repeat after me. I am not a stranger to my divine nature. I align with God's truth, clearing the path to my breakthrough and trusting fully in the power of my oneness with Spirit, God, Source. I am about Spirit's business, called to be my best, called to bring my best, and called to boldly claim the best, because I come from the best. And that separates me from all the rest. That's my secret. That's my story. I'm sticking to it, and I'm living it, being it, doing it, and having it, now and forevermore. And so it is. Amen. You may be seated. Do you know who you truly are? Tell you again. And we oftentimes do need a reminder. Because life comes quick, and life does what it does to you. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Before you can turn around, something's happened. And you have to deal with it. So sometimes we have this amnesia about who we are. You ever experienced that? You forget who you are, and you go down to the cellar, the very basement, into a deep hole, a dark place, and there you are. And you're saying to yourself, I don't know me anymore. I don't know this person that's staring me back in the mirror. You ever been there? Where you're looking in that mirror and you're saying, I don't know me anymore. I'm uncertain of which way to go. I'm uncertain of what I want to do, to be, to have. You ever been there before? I only talk about things that I've experienced. So I warn you, everything that I talk about is because I've been there, or I am there, or I know I'm going there. So can we have a just frank conversation today? My name is not Frank, but I want to be frank. So, there is a truth, Dr. Norris. There is a profound truth about each and every one of us when we get in that situation, when we're looking in that mirror and we say, I don't know me anymore. I'm not sure about who I am. What is it? What is it? That profound truth. Truth is, there is a stranger within each and every one of us. There's a stranger that does not belong inside of us. There's a stranger lurking within each and every one of us is waiting for us to open up the door to its knock and say, come on in. And if you don't identify that stranger will come into your house. And when that stranger comes into your house, it's hard to evict it. You ever had a situation where you wanted something to leave, but you didn't know that you had eviction power? And so it just stayed longer than you wanted it to stay? Anybody ever had that experience where something just lingered on, held on, hung around too long for your liking, and you didn't know how to get rid of it, evicted? Done with you. I've had enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You ever been there before? Real conversation. I've been there. What do you do in that situation where that stranger is whispering doubts in your mind? What do you do when that stranger is feeding you with fear? What do you do when that stranger is trying to convince you that you're less than a child of God? That you have no power, that you have no dominion, that you have no authority. You can't rest at night. What do you do in that situation when you lay down and you're fatigued, tired, your eyes can't stand open, and you lay down and you can't get a good night's sleep? Anybody ever been exhausted from life? Life just doing what it does, and you're exhausted, and you lay down to get rest and you can't rest? It's another restless night. And then you get up at daybreak and you're still not rested, and you thought you were asleep. But the things in your mind won't allow you to get rest, peace, and joy. Can anybody relate to that? The stranger that's just lurking about and telling you you don't have any claim to your divine nature. Can you tell somebody next to you, you better act like you got some sense? Anybody ever been told that? You better act like you got some sense. Life is knocking you upside your head, and your senses are getting tossed around. And you forget the fact that you got some sense, and your sensory perception is thrown off. Philippians 4:13 says something that we're very familiar with, doesn't it? I can do all things through the Christ, God, the Creator, that strengthens me. But the stranger makes your mind, your thoughts drift, scatter about. Who in here has thoughts that just race around from moment to moment, minute to minute? Thoughts just race. You're thinking right there, but then all of a sudden you're thinking right there. You're thinking about yesterday, you're thinking about tomorrow, and the present can't have its space. Anybody relate to that? Racing thoughts, distorted thoughts, scattered thoughts. In your mind, your thoughts are all over the place. You can't focus in the moment. Maybe you're not like me. I have a problem. I have racing thought syndrome. My thoughts just race around. I'm not on medication. I haven't been diagnosed. But my thoughts just race around. And I've been doing all my life, Debbie. I got 50 million thoughts in the run of a day that I'm trying to decide which is the most important, which is the right choice to move me forward, which are the thoughts that are pushing me back into the past. Maybe you're not like me. Maybe your thoughts are just singular, calm, cool, collected. You're on that straight and narrow all the time. But it is this case where we just drift in thought. What's that old song, the Isley Brothers? Drifting on a memory. Ain't no place I'd rather be than the right place at the right time with the right thought that propels me to a powerful state that I'm supposed to be at. Matthew 10:1, Donnie, says something. Can we read that? And when he had called his 12 disciples to him, he gave them power over unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all kinds of sickness and all kinds of disease. Now I want us to just quickly examine that. And when he had called, you ever been called by a voice? A whisper, a shout. And it was a familiar voice. I remember some time ago, I was in a CVS with my little nephew. And he drifted away from me in a crowded store. And all of a sudden I hear, Uncle Glenn. Uncle Glenn. Out of all the voices screaming and howling and yelling, I knew it was the voice of Quantez. And I went to him because I was familiar with that voice. How many of you think that if your child was lost in a CVS and that child cried out, you could distinguish the voice of your child? Yeah, we all could. But the problem is we have a problem distinguishing God's voice in the crowd, in all the things that we hear. We have a hard time distinguishing the voice of God. And so when God calls, there's a problem. And we talked about 12 disciples, and the 12 disciples are the 12 powers that we're empowered with. Remember those powers: faith, strength, wisdom, love, power, imagination, understanding, will, order, zeal, elimination, and life. And every month we chose one of these 12 powers, these 12 disciplines of the 12 disciples to feature. And this month we've been on elimination. Elimination is an exodus away from something or someone that no longer empowers us to be the powerful person that we're supposed to be. How many of us still have those situations where we need to release and let go, eliminate, extinguish, make an exodus from? We're still holding on. Still holding on. But go back to that scripture, Donnie. He called his 12 disciples to him. Where did he call them to? Who is the him? Christ. But put yourself in this situation, because what it is, and when he called his 12 disciples, the him that calls the 12 disciples are you, saying, I have scattered thoughts. My mind is all over the place. I can't stay focused. I can't pull myself out of the past to be in the present. So it's you calling all your 12 powers together, saying, now's the time where I need this collective source to be this collective force. He gave them power over unclean spirits. What are unclean spirits? Unclean spirits are the thoughts that are inconsistent with the consistency of who you are in your divine state, as one with the Christ, Almighty God, the Creator. Being that one, I call my 12 powers together and I fight off the unclean spirits, thoughts, ideas, behaviors, addictions. I fight them off. That's what that is. That's you. The He is you. Unclean spirits, to cast them out. Where are they going? Outside of us. A removal, elimination, an exodus from those things that no longer serve you well. And it is the truth. If you understand truth, you understand who you are and the power that is within you. And so when we say we cast them out, we do away with them. And we begin to heal all kinds of sickness and all kinds of diseases. Does anyone in here need to be healed from something? She said a bunch of stuff. Steve just laughs. Because we all are in search of a healing. Something did damage to us. Something hurt us. Something harmed us. And now it has us living in this state, this being of needing a healing. And we have that power to heal anything that ails us, anything that makes us sick. And that's not anyone that you look at somebody and say, you make me sick. I'm not telling you to do that. Reverend Leslie, I'm not telling nobody to go on and say, you make me sick. That's not what this is about. It's about understanding the stranger within. And the stranger within us keeps telling us strange things that are inconsistent. And because of that, we live these strange, awkward lives that disempower us. So now it's time to reclaim. My mother used to say, now when you leave home, no matter what everybody else is doing, You better act like you got some sense. You better not lose focus as to who you are and whose you are. You have a mother like mine. We get in that store, don't touch nothing, don't do nothing, don't ask for nothing, don't even look at nothing. So y'all, some of y'all had a mama like mine. Because if you lose your mind, there will be consequences. But what she was saying is that in this world, you're going to have to live. And when you live, you're going to enter into the world. But just because you're in the world doesn't mean you have to be, say it louder. What? Right. And so we don't get out into the world and lose perspective like we're in a desert and all we're seeing is mirages. No clarity to it. We think what we're thinking, but we're not sure that we're seeing what we think we're seeing. And so because of that, we have this distorted perspective. And we enter this teeter-totter ride. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down, sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad. And that's the wave of emotion that we face. The stranger has to exit. And so that whole idea, act like you got some sense, applies here. Can we use that as a lesson? Because we gave you 12 tools. See, I want to go back to those 12 tools that we gave you because you need spiritual tools. Why do you need these spiritual tools so badly, so desperately? Well, we were putting up Christmas lights last night, as we have been for the last 3 nights. Look at Leah like, yeah, we have been. One night we were outside till 2:30 in the morning putting up lights. All these not balloons. Watch your mouth, they're characters. Telling a story. And now we're up to 17 characters. We've expanded our collection this year. Come by and see us. But the reason why I do this is I know December 3rd is coming. December 3rd was a key day for me. It was a crossing over into my fraternity. But then December 10th came, and it was one of the darkest periods in my life. When I got the call from my big sister at 7:03, and she said, Lynn didn't make it. Lynn is my twin. Debbie said she didn't make it. I'm like, make it where? Because it was an unexpected transition into the highest of heaven. And so what I do now is I anticipate that date, December 10th. And I say, no matter what happens, I'm going to have joy. I'm going to celebrate. And all the lights that I put up are going to be the pathway to higher consciousness thinking about her life and her transition. And so we need these spiritual tools that Reverend Wilbur and I have been trying to teach you about. You need a tool. It's one thing I know, and when something is not put together and something is broken, something is separated, something is divided, you need tools to put it back together. Sometimes we require assembly. And when we need that assembly, we need tools to do it. And so it is that we need faith, strength, wisdom, love, power, imagination, understanding, will, order, zeal, elimination, and life. But the hardest thing to do is the elimination process. Release and let go. You have to make space for newness. You have to say, get out of my way. I'm moving away from you. And so we have this act. Act like you got some sense. Can we say ACT? Now, this is not the college exam, but life will test you, Norris. Life will give you a test, and this wants to know, how are you going to stand up to this now? What are you going to do with this challenge? How are you going to act? And so ACT becomes an acronym. Align, clear, trust. Can we say that? Align, clear, trust. We align with the truth of God's presence within us, acting like we know who we are and whose we are, and the Creator, and how the Creator created us to be powerful, in alignment with the truth. And the truth of our being is that in alignment with God, no weapon formed against me can prosper. Nothing can hold me back. And once we align with that thought, that truth, we begin to clear out, pluck out anything that no longer serves us as inconsistent, mentally and emotional clutter that we hold on to. We begin to say, go away, throwing it away. So we say all the time, and I get a kick out of this, and we say, I got mustard seed faith. But see, what we have to understand is that mustard seed faith is just a start. It's supposed to be planted in good soil, nurtured, watered. And so you're not supposed to stop. I got mustard seed faith. That's not enough. Because through the nurturing process, the seed is supposed to grow into a tree. And the tree is supposed to grow in a way where it has leaves. And those leaves are thoughts, ideas, possibilities, hope that we live by. You understand what I'm saying? And it's in that moment that we say, now that I've cleared out those things that no longer serve me, I can begin to trust in the divine process. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. What does that limit you to? If I say all, it means all in all. Leaves nothing to limit you. Nothing lacking. I can do all things through the Christ that strengthens me. And so we have that ACT, align, clear, trust. But that's not enough, right? Can't be enough. Because you got to understand this thing as a mandate to manifest. And so we began to see again Matthew 10:1. Go back to that again, Donnie. Because part of this is after this, it says, now, go into the world, confront what's broken, and bring the fullness of heaven into every situation. Think about that. Go into the world, confront what's broken, and bring fullness of heaven into every situation. So we think we're going out to make disciples of men. I'm going out for duty. I'm signed up for the army of the Lord. Marching forward with the army of the Lord, got my duty, got my assignment, got my uniform. But the thing is that when we say go into the world, in that passage it means that God understands the world is in you. And so you got to go into the world that's inside of you. Because now it's time for self-examination, self-exploration, and then we start to heal ourselves of the sickness and disease that's within. It's caused by the world outside that we let in. You understand that? So you've been given permission, power, and a purpose to step into your own life and begin to pluck out anything that no longer serves you. There's a quote from Rumi, and it says, be like a tree and let the dead leaves drop. Go back to what I said about that mustard seed faith. The seed is just to start. Nurture the seed. The seed grows up into a tree. The tree has leaves, and because the tree has leaves, we understand that leaves sometimes need to come off the tree. And so this is us. We grow leaves from our experiences, but sometimes they die off, and we need to let them drop. And that's the elimination process. Y'all get it? Sometimes we're holding on to these leaves that are dead, hanging on the limb. hanging on the vine. Release and let them go. And so we begin to drive out impure spirits. That's what we do. Impure spirits must go. Can we all stand? Align, clear, trust. It becomes a manifesto that allows us to go anywhere we want to. Clarity emerges. Confidence grows. Healing flows. Abundance manifests. Breakthrough happens. It's an ACT affirmation. Can you repeat it after me? I am filled with infinite potential. I have the courage to face every challenge and the clarity to see my path. I release all doubt and fear, trusting fully in the divine plan unfolding in my life. I call forth the power of God within me to manifest healing, abundance, and joy. I am unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniably aligned with Spirit. And so it is. I am greater than any enemy, any stranger is lurking within me. Stranger, you're evicted. Get out of my house. Somebody say, get out. Renaissance Union, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Thanks for having me this morning. God bless each and every one of you.